What's up, world? Second half Calvin. I'm back with another hot one. But before we get this shit to popping, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Um, I do appreciate all the comments. I do appreciate all the new subscribers. So do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Today's visual is called Body in the Trunk, Family Ain't Shit, Part 2. If you missed part 1, go ahead and double back so you can be in the loop. All right, so when I left off on part 1, they let Buddy out of Club Fed and they transferred him to the halfway house in Opalaka. All right, so me and my homegirl, we make our way up there because he kind of told her, he wanted to meet me. All right, so we get there and we under the pavilion. I see this old cat coming towards my way, like his old coon coming towards my way. And he stopped her, give her a hug, and then he make his way towards me. And the first thing he do is, reach his hand out to me and he say, I want to thank you, Kevin. He said, man, for this last year and some change, she been holding me down. And she said, you kind of played a big part in that. So I was like, yeah, it's all good. It's nothing. So we chop it up for a little while, and he go to running his resume to me. So I'm thinking, I don't really know him, he don't know me, and everything he telling me, I'm saying to myself, well, he ain't got no reason to lie to me, but I take everything with a grain of salt. So what I do is, eventually, a couple of weeks later, I go holler at my auntie. Because, him and my auntie, they was up in age. And naturally, my auntie is really, from the street. So I go and, sit down and talk with her. And, just to, just get a cosign. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever I was dealing with anything old school, I definitely go to my auntie. So she definitely put a stamp on him. And she said, well, how you know him? I was like, yeah, well, he kind of know somebody that I know. So she was like, well, yeah, he definitely was the man, back in the 70s. She was saying, well, my best friend Ann, who she had done passed away some years ago. She was like, my best friend Ann used to get up in the air for him and go to California for him, twice a month. So she was like, yeah, he definitely is official. She said that he definitely was all about that H-Town, the heroin. Because she said, back in the 70s and the early 80s, heroin ruled. So she was like, yeah, he definitely used to go to Cali a few times out the month, and he used to flood the town, with the boy. And she was saying that, the New Frontier, the liquor store that's on 22nd and I think by 57th Street, she was like, man, that was his, back in the 70s. He had ownership in that. That was like his shit. And she was saying that he never dealt with break down on the street, but she say that liquor store right there, she say he had liquor coming out the front door. And he had dime packs of heroin going out the back door. She said he definitely used to make, 80 or 90,000 a day. She said, but he really wasn't known for that. He was known for moving all the weight with the heroin in the town. So he definitely was that man. She was like, everybody that you kind of heard about in the 80s and stuff like that, she was like, they weren't in position. Say he was that nigga. He put everybody in position, in all due respect to the Bunky Browns and the Big Money G's and Big George Tate. She say, and even Quartz. And one time, for rest in peace to Quartz, I'm gonna do a spill on Millionaire Quartz. I'm gonna definitely do a spill on him. He definitely was that nigga before the crackers took him out. Before the crackers got rid of him. But she was like, before all them, he was definitely that man. He's definitely official. And she was like, he had businesses all up and down 54th Street. And she say, some of the black businesses that's kind of hanging on today, he put them in position. She said, yeah, he put all in them in position, back in the 70s, and they just happen to still be, stringing along in the 80s and the 90s, and some of them still float around today. And I'm just sitting back saying, damn, okay, because I still slide through a lot of these black businesses right now, in this day and age. And she said, yeah, he played a big part of a lot of black businesses really getting on their feet. She was like way before the Bo Dillies and the Big Ike. We all know those was major niggas from Liberty City. She say, but back in the late 60s, early in the 70s, all through the 70s, he was that nigga. She was like, and he was one of the first niggas from the streets to build a home in Rolling Oaks on the back end of Carol City. She was like, back then, only doctors and politicians and people like that lived in Rolling Oaks. She said he was one of the first niggas from the streets to build a home in Rolling Oaks. And she was like, if I'm not mistaken, his first wife, she's still, live in that house to this day. You know what I'm saying? But she said, yeah, but he been gone for a lot of years. She was like, yeah, man, if you, got some kind of ties to him, she was like, yeah, he all right. He's solid. Okay, so, all right, me and Pop, we, eventually after the halfway house, all his paperwork, they go to my homegirl house. So now the paperwork is mailed, you know what I'm saying? Now, he's a free man. He's a free man. So, one day I'm out of town and I get a beat and it's my girlfriend. So she telling me, she was like, man, whenever you get back, the old Pop want to see you. So I was like, okay, yeah, man, we can make that happen. We can make that happen. So, like a month blow by, he done been home, he done been free, a couple of months. So now I'm in town one particular week and my girlfriend, she tell me, she was like, well, sometime this week, man, make your way down there and because he definitely want to check in with you. So I'm like, okay, we can do that. So one day she beat me again and she tell me, she was like, before you come and get me, stop on 15th, go to Miracles, get me some comforters. And she was like, when you come grab me, she said, make sure they hot, make sure they fresh. Cause she, she was crazy about them comforters. She was like, make sure they fresh. When you come get me, we go slide through, we go pick up my daughter. And that way you can sit down and have a talk with the old coon. Okay, so we do that. So I slide through the Ave, holler at Miracles, get that grocery for her, and we make our way over there to holler at the old coon. So we pull up, she going home, she hollering at her best friend, and the old Pop, he's sitting in the yard. So, and we just chilling, we just talking, and, he kind of still give me, the rundown about his resume, this, that, and the third, and he tell me, he was like, hey, man, open that bag. Cause when I come in the yard, he got like a big bag sitting like right there in the yard. He in a lawn chair reading the newspaper. He got like this big ass bag right there, and it's like 5 o'clock in the daytime. So he was like, "Cal, man, open that bag right there." So I unzip the big, like it's like a big duffel, and I unzip it, and it's 20 squares in there. It's 20 blocks, nicely stacked. So he was like, "Grab what you want." So I was like, nah, man, I'm good. Because he don't know nothing about my auntie. He don't know nothing that, my auntie been flooding me for years. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really wanting for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, so he don't know nothing about that. But he was like, man, go ahead and grab what you want. So I was like, nah, man, I'm okay, man. Just sit on it. He was like, nah, man. He said, you really been making sure she all right and making sure I'm all right. He was like, man, and at the same time, I need you to help me, build my face up with my people. So he was like, man, definitely, if you can definitely help me out with that, man, you know what I'm saying? You gonna be more than all right. So he was saying, listen, please give me back 20 off each one. He said that way, I can go ahead and get my safe together and, still, clean my face with these people and, they go bless me. He was like, this some of my old friend, they go bless me. So I was like, okay, well, you can never have enough. You know what I'm saying? Even though we was kind of overloaded up top, but you can never have enough. So I tell him, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back in a couple hours after I, take her home, take her and her daughter home. I'm gonna come back in a couple hours, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna talk with you. He was like, man, you sure you don't want to take it now? I was like, nah, because my antenna spinning. You know what I'm saying? I know you've been down damn near dub, and you got all this work right here. My auntie done co-signed you, but at the same time, it's 5 o'clock in the daytime, and I was like, nah, man, I'll come back through because I really want to wait the nightfall to slide back through. Okay, me and her, she get her daughter, we dick back off, and we go back to Miami Lakes because that's where we were staying at the time. So as we driving, she kind of already know what it is because her best friend had told her, yeah, man, he definitely he want to like get in bed with Cal. So we chopping it up. So I tell her, when we get to the house, go up in the closet, get me 40,000 and bring it back down. I'm gonna ride back to the city. So she was like, damn, you want us to ride back with you? I was like, nah, because I knew every day she get off work, she just want to come home, take a shower, and she take her nap. It was like clockwork. She did it every day. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna ride back down there. So we get to the house. We get out there to Miami Lakes. We get to the house. She go up there. She go in the closet. She give me the 40,000. I stuff everything nicely neat in my drawers, and I make my way back to the city. Okay, so I get back to the city. Pop, he in the same position. He's still in the yard under the tree reading the newspaper. So, now it's like 7, 8 o'clock. So I get there. So he's shaking his head. So he was like, man, you came right back. But he was like, man, we got an issue. So now I'm thinking, damn, I done rode out there, got this cake. I done came back. And now he probably finna tell me it ain't no more, which was no pressure to me because we was good. But I was just saying, damn, now I got to take a chance to ride back through the hot ass city on I-95 to taking his bread back. So he was like, man, I ain't got the 2. He was like, man, it's 7 in there. He was like, I had 18 of them sold. That's why I left 2 for you. But he was like, I got 7. He say, man, the other dude ain't come back to get the other 5. He was like, do me a favor, man. He say, take them whole 7 and give me back a honey bun off the 5. Because I hadn't gave him the 40,000 for the 2 that, I told him I'd take off his hand. So he said, man, give me a honey bun, give me 100,000 for the 5. So I was like, okay, ain't no pressure. So we sit there and we talking and everything. And he go to telling me more about, his resume, telling me about how he used to be friends with Goito. So as he keeps saying Goito, I'm saying, man, that name sounds familiar. For some reason, it sounds familiar. Because he's always just like to talk. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't had a whole lot of friends. He been going to dub. So as he keeps saying Goito, and when he said, yeah, man, Goito, he from your area over there. He was like, man, you probably know his son, Gigi. So that's where it come at. I'm like, okay, you talking about, yeah, Guillermo, but that's my dog. That's my Cuban friend, man. I want to say rest in peace to Gigi. That's my nigga, man. We from the sandbox, man. We from the sandbox all the way up to Edison Senior High. So it's just funny how everything come full circle. He say he used to be in bed with Gigi daddy, Goito. And, they was kind of getting a whole lot of money, back in the 70s. I want to say rest in peace to Gigi. I want to say rest in peace to Mommy. That's Gigi old girl. She passed away a little bit after Gigi passed away. So I want to salute to my Cuban friend, a legend, Gigi. So, okay, I go ahead. I take the 7. I dig back off the Miami Lakes. I get on the hotline. I get all the road runners together. I put the logistics together and, okay, they take off. We go ahead and do that. They take off. I put them up in the air. We good now. So this where it gets interesting at. Okay. So as me and Pop, we doing us. We got a good relationship going. You know what I'm saying? He don't know nothing about my auntie flooding me. It really ain't, his business, and he blessing me too. And like I say, we can never keep enough, man. We can never keep enough because, we had that blicker. always tell you, we definitely had that blicker. And I want to say, man, no matter where we went, we could never keep enough. And Miami boys, we rule. You know what I'm saying? That's before 9/11 and that whole new regime came from Detroit. And much respect to them, you know what I'm saying? Because they did do their thing. But, you know, it wasn't no infiltration how we did it, how the Miami boys did it. All that, the transition in the drug game, it kind of came when, Mexico kind of got in bed with South America, with the Colombians, and all the sack shifted from Miami going through Texas and California. But before all that, Miami boys ruled. We went everywhere and we flooded every town. And, it's check the internet. It's facts. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really couldn't do nothing if the Miami boys was in town. And we've been dominating since the late 70s all the way up to damn near 2000. You get what I'm saying? So that new regime, when they came, my hat's off to them. They really, kind of monopolized the game. But before them, you know what I'm saying? Nobody couldn't do nothing. Everywhere we went, every town, we flooded the town. We couldn't keep it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about supply and demand. Miami boys, we rule until, they start having to create these task force, like SLED and the Red Dogs, run everyday dealer out of Georgia. All that shit was created to run the Miami boys, out their towns. But before all that shit came, Miami boys, we rule. We ain't had to re-rock shit. We ain't had to repress shit. We ain't had to do none of that. We was getting that shit straight blicker from Colombia, from South America. You know what I'm saying? So, by he blessing me and my auntie blessing me, you know what I'm saying? We definitely had shit on lock. So, I say all that to say this, man. The Miami boys really set the blueprint for getting money. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Been doing it for years. So as we doing us, me and Pop, we doing us year after year. We all right. We definitely good. There's never a dry season. You know what I'm saying? Never a dry season. So this where the plot thickens.